Down on the Ropes is actually the first single of our new album. It's about the media spoon feeding us.
I guess it's about like two things, because the song has like two verses, and in the first verse we describe like what you see in the video as well, which is like the type of person that just, you know, sits around the house, watches TV, and just like never second guesses or thinks for him or herself. And the second verse is like a spin on that, where it's like the media and like larger corporations which sort of feed on that type of person. So you have this like self-sustaining cycle of people on the one hand which are willing to, you know, sit around and be like sort of lax all day and not think for themselves, and then the media just like engaging on that and making people into like, I guess, consumers. You know, that's what they call us now, consumers. You're just a consumer, which to me is like an offensive term already. If that's how you define a human being as a consumer, and that's sad in itself. Yeah,
not having a mind to think of for itself anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the chorus is basically that's from the perspective of the person that's saying like, please spoon feed me, please feed me the image that I want. I don't want to think for myself.
Just feel numb.
Yeah, and then you have the shout that the Down on the Ropes. That's just, I guess that's us.
Yeah.
That's people looking at this and think, all right, if this shit,
we're all going to hell if this like continues.
Yeah, it's all going to shit if people keep doing what they do.
Well,
it's already
reality proves. Yeah. Echoes was written after the attacks on Charlie Hebdo, and I think the discussion arose whether you should or should not speak freely, whether it's insulting or not for like other religions and stuff. And we feel the need to say that we can just speak out loud, even if it might be offensive to others. But it's a right you have.
Yeah. I think it's almost like an obligation. Like I heard this interesting theory where people were saying like the only way to have like a free to have like a free civilized society is to have like people spreading their ideas and like conflicting those ideas. In order to, you know, have a free society, you need to, you know, post your ideas and let other people comment on them and maybe, you know, hate on them even. But that's like necessary to, you know, understand each other. And once you start silencing certain ideas, that's when that breaks down, when your sort of civilization breaks down. And you saw as a response of like a sort of wave of terror that's been going on, that people have started saying, but why do you have to insult? And I think what those people keep forgetting is that, you know, it's not even meant to insult. What some people find insulting, that's their prerogative, you know?
Echoes was kind of like the baby of our album. We put a lot of like effort in it. It's not like a song that was there within 5 minutes, but a song who was like sculptured for like weeks and maybe even months.
Layer
definitely. For layer.
Yeah. So I think it started off with like the intro riff, which is like really sluggish and heavy, and it's like it's a shuffle feel. I think the project title for that song was even Satanic Shuffle.
Oh yeah.
which is how it starts out. and then so we had the riff really early on, and then we tried like some things after the riff, and we were sort of stuck on that. And so we mentioned we worked together with some other producers and songwriters. So Daniel Gibson was one of them, and then Robert Wisseloord was the other one. And we sort of started bouncing off ideas with them. And what we even did was like we tried to work on like a cool vocal line, just with like a chord progression, like on the piano, just like a pop chord progression, and then find a cool vocal line. And once we had that, we're like, all right, so let's fit that together with that really heavy riff.
So like two different worlds who really collide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to sort of throw you off in the middle of the song.
Yes, but it works in a way.
I guess it does. Does it? I guess. Hopefully. Yeah.
Love is redesigned. Weaponize kind of like continues on the route of Down on the Ropes. It's really from the view of like the big companies just selling their stuff and just being here for their commercial purposes. weaponized is weaponized. That is weaponized.
Yeah, it's like an image of like the glossy magazines and the the poppy glossy.
Use this cream and you will be a supermodel for the rest of your life. Like,
yeah, and you'll find the man of your life or the woman of your life that's dependent on you looking a certain way or saying a certain thing.
Yeah, weaponized is more or less like the heavy type of like metal.
Yeah, it has like a Slipknot sort of
Slipknot vibe to it.
Yeah.
On the verge of going crazy because of like the entire like industry, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like really heavy riff bass. I think it's one of the fastest tracks on the record.
Yeah,
so
it is.
so that's definitely going on the live set.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yes.
Probably.
No, and Inside.
Yeah,
that was like you wrote that song when you were like in a really dark period of your life.
Yeah. Such an upbeat record, this. No end in sight. Weaponized.
This is I think this is one of like the most personal songs of the album.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote most of the lyrics for this, and it was like written when I was in a really like dark period in my life. And I sort of wanted to write a song to reflect on that. I was like inspired by a couple of bands, like funny, we just mentioned like Counterparts. Counterparts was one of those bands that lyrically, like you don't know the singer, but once you listen to those lyrics, you feel like you know the guy a bit. You know, to him reflecting on how he feels about like life. And
you felt like there was no end inside.
Well, it's not. It's more of a like perspective on the whole world. Like,
like we're all going to shit. You mean?
I guess that's part of it. But just like you'll hear some people like saying, there's so much to live for. But then the other prerogative is where you see like there's so much suffering going on in the world, which is maybe you see it on like a newsreel sometimes, but you don't really pay attention to it. And sometimes I was in a period in my life where you would just think about this type of stuff, like this is going on at the moment, and most people just choose to ignore it in their day-to-day life because that's what you need to do to go on. But that is the world in a sense. I think that's what the song is about. Yeah. And it was one of the first songs I recall that we
it still has the kind of maybe a bit of metalcore to it.
I think people that listen to the previous record will recognize this song as like could have been on the last one.
Yes, definitely.
I like it. It's good that it's on there.
Stepping in and out of